The fear of rejection is simply a biological response. And the reason I have this today is because it's almost Christmas and it's time to prepare 4 months early. So as I was saying, we still have the same brains as like 3,000, 4,000, maybe even more years ago. Imagine the caveman version of you. He's in his little tribe and he fucks up the initial impressions. He's kind of weird. Everyone thinks he's a little, on the spectrum. What do you think will happen to him? He's an outcast now. What do you think will happen? Okay, well, he literally may just get straight up assassinated by his tribe. He'll get killed straight up. Or he could get exiled. Imagine. He's now in this huge jungle with all of these other tribes that want to hunt him with bows and arrows. He's now fighting against all of these other wild animals that are all bigger than him and stronger than him and faster. How do you think he'll survive that? He won't. It's that simple. He won't survive that. He'll die. It all comes back to you. It's evolution. Our brains, our bodies, we've evolved to recognize this pattern. So now, with the current stage we are at, we purposely try and avoid conflict within our tribe. Because by avoiding conflict, by becoming a people pleaser, you can avoid all of this shenanigans with people who want to try and attack you, getting exiled from this hypothetical tribe. You can avoid it all, as long as, you just follow everyone else like a sheep. But if you do that, then you'll be afraid to talk to people, because that's more risk of potentially being socially rejected. So you need to go against your biological responses, your instincts. You need to overwrite them and reprogram them into something else. And it's not easy. It's not easy to overrule 3,000, 4,000 years of evolution. And you just want to do it in like 2 days, bro. You think you can just overwrite that much evolution in 2 days? It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a little bit of work, a little bit of determination and dedication. It's gonna take a little bit of discipline. But once you manage to do it, the benefits are exponential. So I'm going to show you exactly how to override your biological responses so you can stop feeling the fear of rejection. So you can just go up to anyone you want to. Any guy who looks cool, any attractive woman, and just say whatever you want to. Without feeling any fear. It'll be like some weight has just been released off your shoulders. You're more competent now. You've gotten better at an area of life that you didn't even know you could get better at. So what's this first step to removing this fear of rejection? Well, you need to understand that you need to understand, in order to overwrite your instincts, you just need to do the thing that instinct doesn't want you to do over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, until eventually your body, your brain, it finally understands, wait a second, we've been doing this like 10,000 times and we haven't died once. It probably isn't really a big deal. It's probably safe nowadays. How about we stop making this such a scary feat to commit to? It's easy. We've already done it a lot. Why not just do it for the 10,000th and first time? That's what you need. It's exposure therapy. You need to keep doing it over and over again. The first few times will be very difficult, exponentially difficult. Okay, the next few times it's a little bit easier. It's still very difficult, of course, but it's not as monumentally arduous as it was previously. Okay, now it's gotten a little easier and a little easier, and eventually it's a walk in the park. It's like stealing candy from a little toddler. But the thing is, what a lot of people do, they trip up, they mess up on this stage, they fall flat on their face. Why? It's because they try and chew off more than they can handle. They try and do more than they are actually able to do. They try and talk to somebody and then they get some really bad rejection and it ruins their self-image drastically, and now they just can't talk to people again because they didn't have the right mindset. It's up here, bro. There's a certain mindset you need before you try and talk to people, before you try and desensitize yourself. If you have the wrong mindset, you'll end up chewing off more than you can actually handle. You'll end up getting rejected. You'll get burnt by the fire, and the fire will hurt. It'll hurt a lot, more than it should have hurt, and you just won't be prepared for it. I saw this clip at one point. Some dad, I think, or uncle or whatever, he threw some kid into this river, and he basically just expected them to try and swim out of the river to survive with no prior training. And the kid was drowning for a bit, but then he tried to grapple through. He didn't want to die, and he finally got on land. In days of old, that's how children used to learn to swim. There were no classes. There was no like slowly easing yourself into learning how to swim. It was just get sucked in the river. If you don't swim, you'll die. So you have to swim now. What, you're just gonna die? That's how people used to learn to swim. But guess what? There are two types of responses to this. There's somebody who does this and they become a brilliant swimmer and they actually quite enjoy swimming, which is what we want. We want that, of course. But there's also the other response. And I don't exactly know what causes this. Maybe it's how the parents have raised that person. But they try and they survive, but they get traumatized from water. They can't trust their parents anymore. It has drastically negatively affected them, and it's overwhelmingly negative. The sight of the sea makes them feel anxious. There's a negative and a positive side, two sides of the same coin. The only thing that changed this, I would assume, is the mindset, right? The way the parents have taught the kid to go about life. The kid's environment, where he was raised, how he was trained, that's what causes this difference, this divide, and whether this is a positive effect or a negative effect. Something that makes you depressed could make me ecstatic. I could literally be wheezing at the sight of what I'm witnessing, and you could be depressed and sad and you hate everything about it. Difference is the mind. So before you try and even do this, before you try and just talk to somebody and then suffer this brutal rejection that just impacts you so drastically, you need to work on your mind first, the internal. You need to get to a stage where even when you do get attacked, rejected, you still don't fall. You almost trip over, but you grab yourself and you stay and stand firm. That's what you need. It's all up here. And if you want to learn that, then I really recommend you check the top link in the description. The social protocol, it teaches you to get from level 0 of social skills, where you can't talk to anyone, to level 2, where you can talk to anyone at any time. No, any man. Not anyone. Anyone is also called approaching woman, and that's in the future. Any man at any time, no matter what. This will allow you to actually find brotherhood and make friends, which I think is so valuable. A lot of men nowadays, they're stuck with the childhood friends that they used to have. They're kind of stuck with them now. They can't make any new friends, so they kind of just tolerate the disrespect from their friends. Because if they leave them because of slight disrespect, then what happens next? Are they just going to stay lonely for the rest of their lives? They aren't social enough to make friends. That's why I think this is so important, to learn to get to level 2, to start making friends who you can actually trust, who won't disrespect you, who will respect you and show you the authority and trust that you actually deserve. There's a community of people exactly like you who have similar beliefs to you because they're consuming the same type of unedited, very educational content, just like you. So you can imagine the types of people who are watching me and can actually stand me are probably more stronger willed men, like you. I think it's so valuable. So it's the first thing I'd recommend anyone join. Now, this will teach you the mindset, it'll teach you the fundamentals, the principles to learning to get over your fear of rejection, to learn how to talk to people, to make friends. And it costs less than a pizza. But if you really can't afford it, every single one of my videos on this channel is attributed to this one skill. Every single one. If you check out literally any other video, especially my earlier videos where I literally just cover the tactics, no glossing over it, no like story, nothing like that, just full out raw tactics, I recommend you check those out. Remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.